Greetings, gamer guys and gals. Welcome to part 46 of my Let's Play Pokemon Scarlet. And today is more than just a part. Today is actually going to be the finale of my Let's Play. Now, there is technically still stuff that we can do that are like side content. For instance, now we have options to go face level 6 Terra raids and stuff like that. My Pokemon team is not at all prepared for that. I can't even beat a level 5 Terra raid, even with my level 70s that I have right now. Even EV trained and so on and so forth, type matchup and everything. I have not yet beaten a single 5-star Terra raid, and I've fought maybe about 10 of them. I eventually just gave up on doing them just because it's a waste of my time. Those raid battles take forever, and I'm not properly prepared for them. If I was properly prepared for them and playing them online, probably with intelligent folks rather than just the NPCs of this game, it would probably be a different story. So there is that. In last episode, Jacques kind of made it sound like, oh, there's this big, huge happening going on with it. Not really. It's just the option that you can now fight 6-star Terra raids, and they give you amazing items. I was looking up this stuff, and it's incredible. So, for today, what we're going to be doing is taking on the last of the legendaries. There's 4 legendary Pokemon in this game that are actually legendary Pokemon aside from Koraidon. So you get a free Koraidon, you can catch a Koraidon, and then there's 4 real legendaries. The Paradox Pokemon, in my opinion, are not legends. They're kind of half treated like legends, but if I was to say what they really are, they're kind of like a cross between pseudo-legendaries and legendaries. That's my opinion on them, because it's so weird that they decided to make them this like overworld kind of creature thing. They're like primal reversions of Pokemon in a way. At least the ones in Scarlet, because the ones in Violet are futuristic. So there is that. Now, I'm going to be showing on the map whenever I go to a stake location and what the location looks like, where the stake is, even if I've already picked it up. I will be showing. So you can technically use this video as a guide. I'm going to be basically cutting in between each stake, because there's 32 stakes to find. 8 in each region, and then there's a shrine. We're going to be looking at all the stakes, where they are, all 8 in each region, so all 32 together, and then we're going to be going to each shrine, and I'm going to be fighting each of the 4 legends in this episode. And we're going to be finishing off this legendary quest with a legendary hunt. Alright, well, I'll see you at the first stake. Alright, stake number 1 of the yellow stakes, and this is going to be right here on this little plateau. We're going to be going around Casseroya Lake. Let's go ahead and take this stake out. Stake number 2 is going to be right here. We already got this stake quite a while ago because I was just loafing around and lounging around the area and found it. This is where it'll be. Stake number 3 is going to be right inside this rock formation over here, near stake number 2, actually. Let's go ahead and pull it. And we have stake number 4. Right here at the edge of this peninsula near Casseroya Lake. And we have Yellow Stake number 5. Right in Casseroya Lake. Yellow Stake number 6. Again, right in the middle of Casseroya Lake. The 7th of our yellow stakes, right here at the northwesternmost edge of Casseroya Lake. Let's go ahead and pull it, shall we? The 8th and final of our yellow stakes, right here, northernmost edge of Casseroya Lake. Let's pull it, shall we? You heard a mysterious cry coming from the shrine. Alright, let's go to that shrine, shall we? And we have made it to our destination. The shrine and the Sakurat Trail above Casseroya Lake. Let us go down and check it out, shall we? A faint sound is coming from within the shrine. Will you touch the shrine? Yes. Tingyu's Vessel of Ruin has reduced our special attack. This is one of the 4 Pokemon of Ruin. We're going to go ahead and throw a quick ball right quick. And I was not expecting that to necessarily do anything there. But hey, it was worth a shot. I believe this monstrosity is a dark ground. I don't necessarily want to just KO him. He is lowering my special attack. That was a fair bit of damage, actually. And Ting Lu had his energy drained. Let's go ahead and try an Ultra Ball. What's kind of unfortunate about my Pokemon setup here is that I do not actually have a Pokemon that has any form of status. Scyther avoided the Ruination attack. From what I understand, that's the signature attack of all the Ruined Pokemon. Sort of like the Tapus, how they had Nature's Madness. It does the exact same thing. It's a 90 hit move that just halves health. It can never KO unless, like, the Pokemon is at 1 HP, but, what's the likelihood of you being at 1 HP? Alright, so there is a problem here, and that is that I don't have enough timer balls, which is probably what we're going to need for this kind of fight. Plus, I would probably do well to have a Pokemon on all of these teams that has a status move. It's kind of very odd that I have no statuses on any of my Bug team. And we caught Ting Lu, the Vessel of Ruin. Dark Ground. The feared poured into an ancient ritual vessel has clad itself in rocks and dirt to become a Pokemon. Quite a heavy monstrosity that man is. It's unfortunate because all of the Ruin Pokemon are Dark type, partially. And what that tells me, faint writing is carved into the shrine, the Ruinous Vessel's seal has been broken, is that these monstrosities are not actually going to be that competitively viable. So even if I do determine to make an Ubers team out of all 4 of them, it's probably not going to be that great. Alright, we are going to go ahead and move on to the next set of stakes. I will see you there. Location number 1 for the red stakes. Right next to Cascarafa. Let's go ahead and pull this stake. Location number 2 for the red stakes. Right here on this little cliff, below the Asada Desert. Convenient that there's a fly location right next to it. Let's go ahead and pool, shall we? Location number 3 for the red stakes. Right in this little crevice next to these mountains, next to the Pokemon League. Let's pull out the stake, shall we? Location number 4 for the 4th red stake, right here in the center of this pillar, underneath the Bombardier Titan where we first fought him, in the Western Province. Let's go ahead and pull this stake, shall we? The location for the 5th stake. Right here on this outcropping in the West Province. The location for the 6th stake is in a cave underneath this road right here. The cave starts here, and I believe on the other side as well. We're going to go straight through this cave, and you can see the stake as of right now. The 7th stake location for the red stakes would be right here on this little hill. And the 8th and final red stake can be found here, right on this little cliff right before the first waterfall going down this river. You heard a mysterious cry coming from the shrine. Let's go find that shrine, shall we? And here we go, our second shrine with the second ruined Pokemon. It is found right here in this little outcropping next to the Bombardier Lake Mountain, whatever you want to call it, on the western province. Let's go ahead and check the shrine out. A faint sound is coming from within the shrine. Will you touch the shrine? Certainly. Sword of Ruin. Defense of all Pokemon was weakened. Very interesting, these ruined Pokemon. What makes them, I would dare say, cooler than the Tapus is their ruin abilities that are quite unique. Like, for instance... Oh, that was so close. For instance, the Vessel of Ruin... Flame Body. Oh, very nice. That couldn't have been more perfect. If we tried, honestly. But basically, the Vessel of Ruin and how he is capable of... Let's go ahead and throw... Let's throw a Great Ball. Who knows? Maybe we'll catch. How he lowers special attack of all Pokemon besides himself. That's all Pokemon, even in a double battle, including your teammate. It is not a stat buff, however. Or I should say a stat debuff. So it's not as though you are doing something like Intimidate, so therefore Defiant won't work against them, so on and so forth, which is actually really cool. I personally really do like that. Alright, we're going to go with Robska here, because we have leftovers on Robska. We can sort of just tank while we throw Pokeballs. I do like the design of the Ruined Pokemon. I just think it's kind of unfortunate that they happen to be the Dark type, due to the fact that the Dark type is so darn exploitable, Fairies being so powerful. Now, all of them have secondary typings, which do benefit them to some degree. Like, for instance, this Pokemon is Dark Ice, and is super duper fast. Now, what's cool about that is that Dark Ice, being a very fast Pokemon, works wonders with Weevil. This Pokemon's even faster and far stronger, as well as reduces the defense of all opposing Pokemon, which is just a wild combination if you think about it. I do personally like the designs. I mean, the wavy, curvy design of the body of this Pokemon is kind of odd, but I do like, you know, like the icicle spikes on its body, as well as the fact that he literally has a sword as teeth, as his saber teeth, which is really cool. And we caught Chien Pao. These definitely sound very Spanish oriented. Dark Ice. This Pokemon can control 100 tons of fallen snow. It plays around innocently by leaping in and out of avalanches it has caused. These Pokemon are quite large Pokemon. 335 pounds for that cat. Alright. We're going to go ahead and check the boxes. These two can go ahead and come with us all the way to the legendary box. And as you can see, like for instance this, Ting Lu is a super duper defensive Mon. Very slow, unfortunately. But then we have Chien Pao, which is very strong. Kind of very weird that Chien Pao has a plus attack minus defense nature. They do have 3 bests, which is cool. Very interesting Pokemon. I do firmly like them. I think they're interesting, cool, well designed for what they are. They're supposed to be like these ruinous ancient Pokemon. Alright, so that's 2 of them so far. Let's move on to the next set of stakes, shall we? Our first blue stake will be over here, right next to Levincia and the lighthouse. And blue stake number 2. Right here on this little outcropping on this mountain underneath the Glacedo Mountain. Let's go ahead and pick up the stake, shall we? The third blue stake will be over here. Right on this little hill above the Navi squad. And our fourth blue stake location is right here on this sort of mountain. Our fifth stake location is here. Our sixth stake location is right here on this mountain right next to where we are able to fly, actually. Let's pull the stake, shall we? This is our seventh stake location for the blue stakes, right here on this hill. And our eighth and final blue stake location. Way up north, above the North Province area, next to this tree. You heard a mysterious cry coming from the shrine. Let us go ahead and find that shrine, our third Pokemon of Ruin. The third shrine location is probably my favorite. Right here in the middle of this watery section above the waterfalls on the north area province. We find ourselves having to swim into this secret dungeon-like area. This cave is swarming with Pokemon. I kind of wish this is one. Now, I didn't see this as too much of a problem throughout this playthrough, but I kind of wish repels were still a thing, so that you could use a repel and just blast all these Pokemon away. A faint sound is coming from within the shrine. Will you touch the shrine? Yes. Beads of Ruin. Special defense of all Pokemon is dropped. This is a very strange looking Pokemon. However, I do have to say that this and probably Chien-Pao are going to be the most competitively viable. And it has to do with their speed. Alright, so what we're going to do here is switch over to Scissor. Potentially? See how much Bullet Punch does? This Pokemon is part Fire type, so we're very likely going to faint here. Oh, Ruination. Very nice. Scissor is going to get to hit one more time. Awesome. Brought him to low health. And there goes Scissor. Very sorry, my good friend. Alright, so probably our best bet here is to switch in for Robska. We don't really have very many good fire type switch-ins. That's part of the reason why Scissor is going to have a water Terra type. I do intend on catching quite a bit more of the bugs in this gen as well, and having like backups for the team so that the team has a bit more variety. Like for instance, potentially Fortress as a rapid spinner, so on and so forth, that kind of thing. Bounce is such a very weird, like absolutely weird thing to be putting in on this Pokemon. Let's just put it that way. Rabska avoided the attack. Revival Blessing. And we're going to select Scizor. Revived and ready to fight again. Alright, so let's throw a couple of Dusk Balls. Maybe that'll help. We are in a cave. Alright, we are not very well specially defensive with this Pokemon, but like I said, we don't really have a Pokemon that is well suited to fight against fire types. So Swagger, Bounce, Ruination, and Lava Plume is what this Pokemon has. Again, very weird set. I do not understand why Bounce would be on this Pokemon. Swagger, not so much either. And the reason why is because I believe this Pokemon lowers the special defense of all Pokemon. And which is fine. That's fantastic. You could probably do some pretty darn good damage in on your opponent, but you kind of don't want to buff the attack of Pokemon who are going to be fighting you when you have a low defense and are so relatively weak. So we could switch in Volcarona here, because I'll be neutral to fire. Throw another Dusk Ball. Hopefully we catch. And broke free immediately. Yeah, because the thing is that we can't really status this Pokemon. We don't have anything that would status. That Flame Body status of Chien Pao was actually a very hilarious happening in last fight. Did thoroughly enjoy that. Alright, so this is going to do probably a good heaping amount of damage. Let's swap in you. Don't want Volcarona to faint. Our only reasonable check to this Pokemon. Alright, let's try some more Ultra Balls again. Ah, so close! And another bounce. Kind of ridiculous that I can't throw Pokeballs at this Mon. Yeah, it is impossible to aim at a Pokemon that's that high. Kind of ridiculous that I can't throw Pokeballs at this Pokemon just because he's bounced. I guess we'll use a Swords Dance. Avoided the attack. At least this Pokemon is going for bounce rather than other moves, however. Don't know what turn it is. Can we check that status? Oh no. Can't check the status of the turn. It's probably not time to throw Timer Balls quite yet. The moment it becomes time, it'll be the easiest way to catch this Pokemon if we haven't already. Very close. .44 health. Let's try another Dusk Ball. I don't know why it is, but it seems like the Ultra Balls are doing a little bit better of a job. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and use Swords Dance this turn. We should be able to throw Timer Balls, though. Ooh, and we lived on 7 health. And let's throw out a Timer Ball. That's unfortunate. If I knew I could switch in on this Pokemon without having to worry about Lava Plume, I would actually switch in with our good friend Frostmoth and set up Snowscape and Aurora Veil. Come on, Pokemon, get caught. Alright. Wow, we've spent like maybe 20 Pokeballs on this Pokemon already. Alrighty. Timer Ball. Throw away. Yeah, this is probably going to be our most difficult battle, considering that the type mismatchup is really bad here. The last Ruin Pokemon is probably going to be the easiest, due to the fact that Grass Dark is just a hilariously bad type matchup for my team currently. Alright, Frostmoth, go ahead and throw out a Snowscape. Ah, I didn't even get the chance to throw up Aurora Veil. I kind of wish I had Icicle Scales already on that Pokemon. Would be pretty darn great, actually. And Timer Ball. Awesome, caught. GU was caught. Always thought it was interesting how that Heracross is shown as flying in the newer gens, even though he's not a flying Pokemon. Dark Fire. It controls flames burning at over 5,400 degrees Fahrenheit. It casually swims through the sea of lava it creates by melting rock and sand. That was actually relatively a really tough fight. We have one more Pokemon of Ruin to catch, and that one fainted 4 of my Pokemon, which is pretty darn wild. Yeah, this Mon is a fast special attacker with Bounce, Ruination, Lava, Plume, and Swagger. Again, Bounce. Such a weird move. It's great for stall if you have if you have the physical Pokemon or the physical types needed for that kind of stall. Like, for instance, it's a good move on Pokemon like Gyarados. I actually think so. And the reason being is because it's a physical flying type move that allows you to stall. Yes, it does have 85 accuracy and only 85 power, but it has a 30% chance to cause paralysis. So if you get the paralysis off, it just becomes an even better stalwart. Now, it doesn't work unless you have some sort of like toxic or burn going on the side. So you could almost say that, like, the paralysis is just not useful, because how you would really want that to work for the stall factor is also for the Pokemon to be taking damage while you're up in the sky also. So it kind of depends. There's a lot of people who'd probably say it's not really all that great of a move. I've always thought it was interesting and way better than the move Fly, even though it has less accuracy and power, because of just the secondary effect. I love status effects that have 30% chances. They're just very good. Alright, so without all that further ado, we're going to get on to pulling the last 8 stakes for the very last Pokemon of Ruin. I'll be seeing you. And here is our purple stake, numero uno. Right underneath the Los Platos on this little bit of an outcropping for the waterfall, in fact. And purple stake number 2. Not very far away from the very first one. Purple stake number 3. Right on top of this spiral mountain. Purple stake number 4. The southernmost part of this continent, or country, I guess you could call it. Region. There we go. Stake number 5 of the purple variety. And we can find it right next to this bridge. Stake number 6 would be found here if it weren't for the fact I've already picked it up. And here is stake number 7. Right in this little perch. Right here. And finally, last but not least, purple stake number 8. You heard a mysterious cry coming from the shrine. And this locale is literally right next to Artisan. And here we are, finding ourselves at the very last shrine to fight on the very last Pokemon of Ruin. Yes, we will touch the shrine. Quite the strange looking Pokemon, to say the least. Attack of all surrounding Pokemon has been reduced. Hopefully that means we can throw out some bullet punches and get them down to low health without having to go overboard. Ooh. Foul play. Definitely should have thrown out a wonderful old quick ball at the first of this. That's a little bit of my fault there, but oh well. We shall throw out some Ultra Balls. Alright. This will probably take us a little bit of time, just like the last couple of them did, in fact. Our beautiful Scizor is taking some beatings, unfortunately. Oh, that was so close! Looked like we were catching them right away. Yeah, Bullet Punch is probably our weakest move on this team that we could hit him with that would not faint him. So that's why I decided to start off with Scizor. This Power Whip will faint our good old Scizor, unfortunately. We can bring out Volcarona. I believe will resist every single thing that this Pokemon could possibly do to us. And we should resist it all quite well. I think this Pokemon is literally just a physical attacker. I mean, I think more or less Wo-Chien is a mixed attacker, can be either, but it seems like he has nothing but physical attacks. If he was a special attacker, I'd probably throw up some quiver dances. It's what I should have done. Now that I think about it, with Chi-Lu? I believe that was the name of the Pokemon. These are such very odd names for Pokemon, being honest. Alright, so there is a special attack this Mon has. Not necessarily great there, because even though he's not doing much against us with that, we don't want him to heal up. And that looks like his idea. Now he's in yellow health. Well, if we take some Power Whips, we might end up getting a burn, which would be nice. And of course it misses. That move, I believe, only has 5 power points too, because it's basically the physical Fire Blast, physical grass version of Fire Blast. It's a little bit stronger though, which is kind of wild because Thunder, Fire Blast, and Blizzard all got respective nerfs. Alright, so we did get a burn. Awesome. They all got respective nerfs a couple of gens ago, and I don't agree with the nerfs, considering that there's so many moves out there that just have blisteringly high power, like base power. Like, why would you do that with Fire Blast? Fire Blast already had its secondary effect nerfed. It used to have a 30% chance to burn, but now it only has a 10% chance to burn. I didn't really agree with that either, because it has a 15% chance to miss. Will-O-Wisp literally burns, and that's all it does, is burn. Alright, so this is our last turn to catch this Wo-Chien, which is unfortunate. That means we are probably going to fail here and have to redo it. Critical catch. Yes! Awesome! Fantastic. Wo-Chien was caught. Poor Scissor. A dark grass type. The grudge of a person punished for writing the king's evil deeds upon wooden tablets has clad itself in dead leaves to become a Pokemon. This one is the lightest of all the ruined Pokemon. And there we go, number 393 in our decks. Now, Wo-Chien is a mixed attacker, as you can see. Not a bad one either, especially because Wo-Chien has access to Spore, which makes, I'm pretty sure that makes it the only legendary Pokemon that has access to Spore. Now, granted, Brute Bonnet has access to Spore too. I understand that, but I don't really count the Paradox Pokemon as legendaries. I just call them Paradox Mons and call it a day, because they're not really treated like legendaries. Like, these 4 are treated like legendaries. You absolutely have to take on a quest, which we did, to find them, the one and only versions of them. Now, going on with what I was saying about potential things that we could do in this game that are left over is, if you go to all of the original Titan fighting locations that you had on the Path of Legends, you can very well either defeat or catch the Titan legendaries. I do not think that they respawn. So it's probably in your best interest, if you have any kind of desire for those Pokemon to be in your team, because they are special. They're not any bigger than regular Pokemon, like for instance the old Titans were that we fought. Those giant monstrosities are not that size, which I thought was super duper unfortunate, and was kind of like one of those situations where they kind of shot themselves in the foot with that. That would have been really, really cool to have The Titan Pokemon being these giant apex Pokemon that you can catch, only one of, by the way. You can only catch one, and of each, because there's all 5 Titan Pokemon. And they're unique. They even have their own unique markings. They have a mark that specifically shows that they are Titan Pokemon. We could do stuff like that, but I decided that stuff like that is just, it's not really all that important. And then the level 6-star Terror Raids, by the time I get to the ability to do that, will be weeks from now. Like, literally weeks from now. Because of grinding this, that, and the other. And let alone the fact that I'm not necessarily certain I want to grind to get my team, all my teams to, like, level 100. I'm pretty well not a grindy kind of guy, which is part of the reason why I don't play competitive Pokemon often. I will probably do so over the course of a little while, actually get my Pokemon up there, not like forcibly or quickly. And once they're all level 100s and all have perfect natures and everything like that, their hidden abilities and everything, then I'll probably start doing some Pokemon battles. Hopefully, that is my desire. I actually would love that. But realistically, it's not going to be anytime soon. Because, again, we all have limited time. And this is a hobby of mine. So, as this is the finale of this game, I wanted to kind of give some of my passing thoughts as to what I feel about Pokemon Scarlet. This game is a great game concerning the gameplay, but concerning a lot of the issues with the polish of this game, it's unacceptable. Especially for the Pokemon franchise, especially for Game Freak, especially for Nintendo. It is unacceptable. I don't appreciate it. I don't think most people appreciate it. Some people can bat an eye and turn it the other way and not look at it and focus on it. That's what I was trying to do during this entire playthrough. And I tried to keep myself from the negative criticism as much as possible. However, it still cropped up, even though I said I was going to keep myself from it as much as possible. It still cropped up because it's unavoidable. It's that bad. The game is still fun. The Pokemon are fun, the new legends, the Paradox Mons, the new Pokemon in general, the new abilities, items, moves. Everything is so much fun, but it is overshadowed by an unpolished experience. And it angers me. Like, actually angers me, because Pokemon is a series I love. And it really riles me. It riles me. Because just like Fire Emblem, Intelligent System seems to be going down the wrong pathways with those games. Those games for years have been nothing but trash. Fire Emblem. There are some redeeming qualities of Three Houses. There's some redeeming qualities of some of the other games that are late. And then Echoes is in itself a great game. A great game. But by and large, for the most part, Fire Emblem is going down a wrong path, and Pokemon is too. I don't like this. I don't like this polish. And I also don't like the very slight political woke nonsense that they're putting in this game with how all of the characters look. Like Rika or Grusha or so on and so forth. I could name dozens. The female overbuilt athlete trainers that you find on the road, the hippies, the fact that half of them are like freaks, sheiks, and deeks. And I don't like that. I do not like that. Keep your politics to yourself. To yourself, please. And thank you, especially considering that this is supposed to be a child's game first and foremost. We do not need to be polluting our kids' minds with an analogous society. We just that is ambiguous and filthy. We just don't need to do it. And that might come out as a little bit of a harsh opinion, and that's fine. You don't like that, you don't like that. My opinion holds true. I like wholesome, I like good, I like godly, I like true, I like worthwhile. I don't like waste. And And the games don't need to be going that way. Pokemon needs to get away from the politics. We do not need video games jumping headlong into that. It's very unfortunate, because the reality is that a lot of these games could be far and away better, even with the problems that these games have, if it wasn't for that factor. And it's just incredible. Now, if we're going to talk about like gameplay failings, I think there are some things that are failings in this game. When it comes to gameplay, I think the Terra raids are overtuned, like way overtuned. Like, they're supposed to be up to 7-star raids that are special event raids. I can't even beat 5-star raids at level 70 with Pokemon that have like perfect EV training, good natures, so on and so forth. Like competitively viable Pokemon that have good matchups with these Terra raid battles. I can't beat them. I absolutely the Terra raids are way overtuned. I have a friend who personally has level 100 competitively viable Pokemon, and he knows what he's doing, just like I know what I'm doing with this, and he can't beat some of them either. Like, we're talking 6-star raids for him, in his case. I understand that difficulty should be there, granted. However, I'm not specifically talking about the difficulty, because the difficulty is bypassable if you're online. If I am playing solo, as I showed in my Terra Raid battle video that I did, the Pokemon themselves almost exclusively target my Pokemon. How are you supposed to deal with that on solo? Like, even if you have an extremely good matchup against the Terra type and the regular types of the Pokemon you're facing, it's like, there's no chance. There's absolutely no chance. I don't like that. I don't appreciate that. I think it's wild. I think some of the design choices, gameplay-wise, concerning the important trainers and how that all of their terrestrializations are very, very predictable. I didn't like that. I did like when the gym leaders changed that, but none of the Elite Four did. None of the Elite Four, the champion didn't. You mean to tell me the champion of this region doesn't have any kind of like competitive strategic mind concerning her team and how it needs to be? I just don't agree. I couldn't be bothered to agree with that kind of nonsense. The UI in this game is really poor. Like, there's nothing on screen that would tell me what buttons, like X, what X does, what L does, what R do. They tell you in tutorials in a moment in the beginning of the game, but then there is no UI. Some of the options want nothing to do with the fact that there is no way to turn off battle animations in this game. I want nothing to do with that. I understand that they spent time on battle animations, but being able to skip things is good, which really blows my mind, because if we look into the options menu here, you can find skip move learning. That's never been a thing. Skip nicknames. You can skip that as well. You can skip cutscenes in this game, and it will skip every single cutscene in this game. Like, okay. 2 steps forward, 10 steps back. Let's do a little bit better here. Now, again, I'm not just nitpicking, because like I said, there's so many things to love about this game. I love the open world. It's very sprawling and beautiful. Now, is it full? No. Was I expecting it to be? Not really. Considering that this is Pokemon's first venture into truly open world, Legends Arceus notwithstanding, because Legends Arceus was not open world. It was Monster Hunter style. It was hub world with like separate regions, which is how Monster Hunter plays in most of its games, especially, for instance, Monster Hunter Rise. Good game. But so there are really fantastic things about this game, and there are really wonderful things that they have done, but there are things that they really flubbed up on, and I don't like that. I really hope that Pokemon learns from this experience, Nintendo learns, Game Freak learns from this experience, and I hope they start getting a little bit better minded about these things. Good grief, good gravy. I feel the same way about intelligent systems and Fire Emblem, and I know this is obviously not a Fire Emblem Let's Play or video, but I love those games. They're some of my favorite, and alongside Pokemon. And I don't want to see these games just die or go the way of the dodo bird because they decide they're going to follow Sony and Microsoft's example, or big corporate liberal example of woke agenda this, woke agenda that. Like, please, stop. Arrête. Completely halt. But with all that being said, I do want to thank you for joining me as we discovered the land of Paldea, took on the full region, destroyed the gyms, twice even, finalized the Victory Road, took on the Path of Legends, defeated all of Team Star, took down the big baddie, which was kind of not really a big baddie, but more like a machine that was a baddie, controlling a robot that was a baddie with Master Balls, a whole team of Master Balls. Where can I get some of those for my team? I would love to have a couple hundred Master Balls so I can throw around everywhere and catch everything immediately. Would be quite handy. And I'm so very excited, so very glad that I was able to show off the best of what Paldea has to offer, in my opinion. Now, granted, this wasn't a 100% playthrough or walkthrough, but it was a very fun time. Love our partner here, Koraidon, and loved our rival Nimona, and everything that just happened was pretty good. Pokemon, for a Pokemon game story, it actually had a pretty decent one too. Like I said, I want to thank you for joining me. If you like my content, please upvote and follow, or like and subscribe, depending on your platform. Comment and share. It's always appreciated. I appreciate it so very much with any kind of interaction I get, especially as not exactly a big content creator yet. And while you're at it, have a great and glorious day gaming. I'll see you guys next time in the very next Let's Play, or some scripted content. Some videos are coming up that should be interesting. I'll see you guys later.